I am totally and completely in support of organisations that endeavour to teach young women how to code, because when you leave it solely in the hands of young men, sticky accidents like spermination happen. This is the sort of game that can only happen when you let young and bright-eyed fellows live on a steady diet of South Park, bad cider, and that great literary standard, Nuts magazine. And honestly, a concept like this on paper will have you reaching for games with softer, less aggressively stupid premises. Perhaps a game where you play as the Feather from Forrest Gump, or a title that focuses on the feelings of the last bit of pizza nobody wants. But I digress. I'm putting off talking about this one because it's the kind of game where you just feel dirty talking about it. I'm gonna need several showers after this review, my friends. But anyway, let's prepare once again to go, and not too literally this time, indie deep. In the Camera Obscura review, I said that developers must be running out of ideas because all that's left in games is the complex, ridiculous, ridiculously complex, and the complexly ridiculous. Well, golly, my prayers must have been answered because here it is, Spermination, a game where you play as an ejaculated sperm. I have to wonder who sat in the boardroom somewhere and thought, "I got a bloody good idea, mates. I got the new character that's gonna take gaming by the balls, innit? First, we had Mario and Luigi, right? Then we had Sonic the Hedgehog. Now the summer's new hit is going to be Sammy the Sperm. It's going to be well mint." Essentially, it's like a game of golf because you get shot off and you have to get in the hole. Well, you should all know how this works. I bloody hope so. I don't want to explain it. As a little aside, I need to say the marketing for this game writes itself, and it's a wonder it never did better. I can see it now. Spermination, coming soon. Now, if the dev team use this slogan and make mad money, they owe me some. You all heard this, you're all witnesses to it. I want some money. In all seriousness, the gameplay works like this. It's a racing game slash space shooter in 3D where you need to race to the end and destroy whoever gets in your way. This asks two questions. What is the end and who are your enemies? Well, to answer the first question, well, I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to say that the endpoint is Vaginal Cavern, just north of Brown Point. And the game after does make heavy reference to the act of fertilization, and the goal is to be number one across the finish in order to be the sperm that makes it. So, simple enough, if just horrible to think about. However, the end goal is not just an egg waiting to be fertilized. For instance, sometimes the hole you swim off into will be an off color, and on the results screen you'll be informed that you were digested. Absolutely disgusting. I'll let that one sit with you for a minute. But more lighthearted than that is that you can swim the opposite way and swim home. And in a game that's as weird and crude as this, that's quite funny. As for the other question, who are your enemies? Well, it's not just you racing to fertilize that golden egg. You'll be competing against 1,000 of your spermy rivals in a bid to complete your life's mission and get someone pregnant. The concept is not exactly crude or saucy or anything like that, but I wouldn't exactly call this fine art. Silly concept aside for a moment, how does it actually play? Well, you should be pre-warned by the stupid name, ludicrous concept and low $1.99 price point that it's all going to be a bit of a laugh, a bit of a plaything, a bit of a toy. You steer yourself around by using the mouse, accelerate with the W key, shoot with left click, and use special items with the spacebar. That's about it, but honestly, for being a one-note joke, it all works decently well. The mouse will steer you past obstacles fluidly, meaning you can steer yourself around the penis and fallopian tubes. Now there's a sentence I'd never thought I'd say. Quite well. However, there are collectible items that float around the stage that you just can't pick up no matter how much you struggle against the controls. One could make the argument that, again, this is a meme game and it just doesn't matter how it plays as it's all about the joke, but that argument just feels like a lazy conceit more than anything. Even if a game's a joke, even if it's one note, even if it's flash in the pan, can you really get away with a bad design choice or a mistake on the basis that it's all one mighty gag? That's a video for another time and another person, but what I'm getting at here is that just because Spermination's a big wet joke doesn't mean that it can get away with a disappointing gameplay element in the name of comedy. As the pickups are so bloody evasive, you'll find yourself furiously low on health, which takes something away from the game. I'm not sure what that something is either, because the game's hardly that much fun, as the controls are piddlingly annoying when taken seriously, which invalidates Spermination when taken as a racing game. The shooting is technically sound, I suppose, but the core problem with all of it, when the joke, sophisticated as it is, finally wears thin, what you're left with is a 2-minute game with floaty controls and repetitive shooting that doesn't really seem to do much at all. And that's it. Once you've had your ha-has, it doesn't work as a game, and suddenly the 199 pennies that you've spent for this game suddenly seem like the most expensive joke of all time. Remember earlier when I compared this game to fine art? Well, that was an oddly prescient thing to say, because on a graphical level, Spermination looks like a packet of fried condoms. This game looks so low polygon that it should be holding out a little paper cup and begging other indie games out there, "Please sir, I want some more." Again, I understand, this was a joke game. I get it. It's not going to challenge the likes of Crysis for graphical fidelity. Wait, is Crysis still the benchmark for that sort of thing? I'm old and out of the loop, and what it is seems weird and scary to me. But you take my point, Spermination isn't the best looking game out there. It looks like you're literally inside Polygon Man, the old PS1 mascot. Oh god, now there's a thought. In a way, the low quality nature of the game adds a certain charm to it all, I suppose, but at this stage of play, I wasn't having any of it. There's not a real sense of longevity to the game either. Each playthrough lasts about 2 to 4 minutes, which in essence is probably realistic to the last time you had sex, but after about 2 plays, you really get the sense that you've seen it all. The grand goal of the game is to come first in the great vaginal space race, and if you're so impressed by this concept that you dare to come back for seconds, that is the goal you'll be striving towards. I haven't done it because I couldn't stomach more than 15 minutes of this game, but I trust that the reward for finishing the joke is hardly worth it. A small plus is that this game supports VR headsets, which is an option I didn't play this game on, and you can tell that this title has been made with this in mind. You'll likely get a lot more out of this title with a headset, and it'd make a good demo, but not one I recommend at full price by a long shot. As such, because this game is essentially a joke stretched to its absolute limit with only the bare remnants of gameplay remaining, this game gets 1.5 stars and likes it. The game's one single jape is worth a single ha, but not much more than that. This has been Indie Deep. Thank you for watching, and good night. Now, I'm off for my shower.
Relax, don't do it when you wanna go to it. Relax, don't do it when you wanna come. Relax, don't do it when you wanna suck it to it.